Friends. Hope you are staying fit and fine. Today I am going to talk about a problem that have in a way affected a proportionately larger number of children as time goes by. Intellectual disability. It was once called mental retardation. We will talk about the identification of the problem, the possible causes, the prevention, and what we can do if such a case is encountered. So stay with me till the end and let's start. However, before we dive in, I would request you to check my other live videos on FB and YouTube. Do subscribe to my channel and share the videos so that maximum number of people may get the benefits of the same. All links are in the description. So let's get into today's topic. First, let us look at how we can identify this problem. It is basically characterized by below average intelligence or mental ability and a lack of skills that are necessary for day-to-day living. We must remember that people with intellectual disabilities can and do learn new skills, but they learn them more slowly. There are varying degree of intellectual disability ranging from mild to profound. Someone with intellectual disability has limitations in two areas. These areas are intellectual functioning and adaptive behaviors. Intellectual functioning, also referred to as IQ, refers to the person's ability to learn, reason, make decisions, and solve problems. The average IQ is 100, with the majority of people scoring somewhere between 85 and 115. An IQ of less than 70 to 75 may indicate intellectual disability. How do you measure the child's adaptive behaviors? Well, for this, we need a specialist who will observe the child's skills and compare them to other children of same age. Observable parameters may include things like how well the child can feed or dress himself or herself, how well he or she is able to communicate with and understand others, and how the child interacts with his or her family, friends, and other children of the same age. Friends, we must remember that while intellectual disability is thought to affect about 1% of the world population, 85% of those affected have only mild intellectual disability. This means that they are just a little slower than average to learn new information or skills. With the right support, most of them will be able to live independently as adults. So, what are the signs of intellectual disability in children? There are many different signs. They may appear during infancy or may be noticeable at a more advanced stage, maybe at an age when the child reaches school age. It often depends on the severity of the disability. However, there are some common signs which, if the child is rolling over, sitting up, crawling, or walking late, or taking more time to learn talking, or having trouble with talking, they are usually slow to master things like potty training, dressing, feeding himself or herself. They have difficulty remembering things. Uh, it has also been observed that there is sometimes inability to connect actions with consequences. There may be behavioral problems such as occasional explosive tantrums. Sometimes they have problem with, sometimes in most of the cases, in fact, they have problem with solving problems or thinking logically. In very severe cases, there also may be other health problems like seizures, mood disorders, anxiety, autism, etc., motor skills impairment, vision problems, or even hearing problems. Another thing is what causes this intellectual disability. Basically, it can be anything that interferes with normal brain development. We shall talk a bit about the most common causes of intellectual disability. However, it must be remembered that a specific cause for intellectual disability can only be pinpointed in only 30% of the cases. Nothing can be ascertained for the rest. So two-thirds of the cases goes without any identification. Most popular problem or most common problem is a problem during pregnancy. Things like alcohol, drug use, malnutrition, certain infections or preeclampsia, this may interfere with the fetal brain development. There can be problems during childbirth, like a baby who is deprived of oxygen during childbirth or born extremely premature may show such signs. Any illness or injury like infections like meningitis, whooping cough, measles, this can also lead to intellectual disability. Severe head injury or a near drowning experience, extreme malnutrition, infections in the brain, exposure to some toxic substances such as lead, this can also lead to such intellectual problems. Genetic conditions are always there, like Down syndrome and Fragile X syndromes, which can cause intellectual disability. Severe neglect or abuse can also cause this thing. Now, the big question, can intellectual disability be prevented? Certain causes of intellectual disability are definitely preventable. The most common of these is fetal alcohol syndrome. Pregnant women should not drink alcohol. Getting proper prenatal care, taking prenatal vitamins, getting vaccinated regularly against infectious diseases definitely lowers the risk. Also, if your family has a history of genetic disorders, genetic testing is very much recommended, at least before conception. Certain tests such as ultrasound, amniocentesis, these can also be performed during pregnancy to look for problems that may be associated with intellectual disability. However, these are basically diagnostic steps and doesn't really prevent the problem. There are various services available at professional and government level for such kids, which we'll be discussing in some other video, or you may contact me personally. Now I come to the most important part of this live session. What can we do to help the intellectually disabled child? Firstly, you should encourage your child's independence. Let him or her try new things. Encourage your child to do things by himself or herself. Provide guidance when it's needed. And always give positive feedback when your child does something well or masters something new. Also, try to get your child involved in group activities. Encourage him or her to take an art class, participate in scouts or guides, take up new hobbies. It will help the child build social skills. Also, as parents, I would like to suggest that involvement of parents is very, very crucial. So do stay involved. Keep in touch with your child's teachers. Continuously track his or her progress, and always try to reinforce what your child is learning at school through practice and recapitulation at home. Also, try to learn everything you can about intellectual disabilities. The more you know, the better advocate you can be for your child. Get to know other parents of intellectually disabled children. Group up. They can be a great source of advice and emotional support. Also, open up and take professional help without any hesitation at all levels. There are various kinds of professional services that are available for your child. Make the best of it. Do not make the child feel that he is special, while at the same time, do take care of all his needs. So, that would be all. Also, friends, most importantly, do not be ashamed of your child. As I keep telling in most of my videos, mental health issues is not a taboo. It's just like any other illness. If you are not ashamed when you cut your fingers with a knife, you shouldn't be shy to talk about any psychological problem you or anyone in your family might face. I am always there for any assistance that you or your near or dear ones may need. As a matter of fact, we all need help. So let's help each other out and make this world a better place to live in. Do check my Facebook, Instagram pages, my blog, and my YouTube channel for more updates. Take care. Goodbye.